Alright, what's up guys? Christian here from CK Wraps. So I'm going to remove this front fender here. It has a scratch on it. Somebody scratched it. I have no idea who did, but the customers requested that I replace the panel, which I'm going to do. So I'm going to remove it and then I'm going to reapply it. So let's start by removing it, which is starting at a corner somewhere. Now you can't see this, but I'm just kind of getting in there with my fingernail or whatever, like, you know, just something that's not abrasive, and start by lifting this film off. All right, this film's only been on for like, I don't know, a day. Sorry, this is one of the first panels I did. It's been on for like 5 days. Let's get it out. Comes off really nicely because I use tack reducer, so it helps a lot when it comes to removal. I'm just gonna get this little bit sandwiched between the bumper here. There we go. So when you're removing the vinyl, you want to make sure you're getting everything that's tucked away. So let's get all this off. It's pretty cold in here right now. It's like, I don't know, 65, 70 degrees. In Celsius, that's like 18-ish or so, 17, 18. So it comes off really nice. Sucks that we gotta do it, but we're gonna make it perfect. So basically, what happened is that somebody went and rubbed their fingers all over this, and there was dust on it and it scratched it. So you can't do that. This is chrome. So it comes off really nice. This is Vivid's Rose Golds. Really nice color. Easy to work with. Easy enough. Sorry, maybe not for everyone, but easy enough for a chrome to work with. She's gone. So, I'm not even going to do much with the surface. I'm probably just going to leave it. I'm going to clean it up though, because I see a little piece hanging in here. If I can get it out without damaging anything. Again, we don't want to leave anything behind. We want to make sure we have a clean removal. I got it. Alright, this surface should be spotless. That film came off really easily, and there shouldn't be any adhesive left behind. So let's toss that out. Let's grab the new piece. Which I happen to have already pre-cut. So the issue with this car is that it's aluminum and we can't use magnets. Nothing is magnetic. So it makes things a bit of a PITA, or a pain in the ass. And we need to use, or I'll use tape to hold it. So I'm going to tape one corner, and I'm going to tape the other corner and get it into the position that I want it to be in for when I remove the backing. All right, it's gonna be super important. Now the tack reducer that I had applied originally is still there. It's not gone anywhere. There might be a little bit left over on the film, but most of it is still there. Let me grab a heat gun because I see it was put away, as it should be. And I need to find the plug, which I got. Hopefully this plug's plugged in. Sorry, I wasn't really prepared for this, but I'm coming in late night video, getting this done for the customer because he wants to actually pick his car up right now, or like in half an hour. So we're gonna get this done really quick. Ah, we got power, perfect. Get this done in half an hour, all right? I'm gonna start by cutting off some excess because I don't need all this. Just gonna get in my way. of that. I don't even care, it's garbage. Let's now remove the backing. All right, we're gonna get this off. Should come off really nicely. I have the plastic protective coating is still on this, okay? You can remove the backing paper with it on or off, it doesn't matter. It actually makes the film a little bit more stable. So if you're doing this in a warmer shop or a warmer environment, it's gonna make the film a little more stable when removing the backing paper. Which means it makes it more rigid. Perfect. Backing paper out of the way. Let's kick it out of the way. All right, now let me remove the tape because I don't need that. And let's remove the cap. Get rid of that. Gotta be kind of careful here. All right. So we're sitting with a very ugly looking piece of vinyl. It's not in good position right now. Let's fix it up. So we can easily reposition this. It's not a challenge. That's not the squeegee I want. I want the one with the buffer. And we're going to lock it into place a little bit. Now it's not going to lock in like crazy because I have tack reducer all over this, so it's going to be, I'm going to try and lock it into the door actually, because that'll stick a little bit better. But it could lift off at this point. So we have to be very careful. And what I want to do is I'm going to heat a larger area, and I'm going to heat this large area, and I'm going to stretch consistently and as evenly as possible throughout this large area. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to stick a piece of tape on the corner at the other corner over there, the top corner, so I don't want it lifting off. I want it to kind of maintain its integrity. So let's do this, all right? So I'm going to heat all of this, all right? I'm heating it up. We don't need to go bonkers with the heat. We just want to soften the film. We want to soften the film enough so that we can have some pliability. Having pliability is very important. So we want to heat this up consistently over a large area. If you concentrate the heat in a small area, you will damage the film when you go to pull it. So we don't want that to happen, because damaging film means it costs us money and time on top of that. All right, so that should be pretty good. What I want to do is I want to read this. I want to read the wrinkles, okay? I want to watch what this film is doing as I pull it and stretch it, okay? So look, I'm pulling, I'm keeping it flat. You see how flat I'm keeping this? Super important to keep it as flat as possible throughout this area here. This fender has such a large curve forward, or sorry, into the hood, that it makes it very difficult to wrap in chrome. So I'm going to apply some Vivid Shield Guard. That's just going to help my buffer glide really nicely, and it's going to help release and get these massive air bubbles out of here, all right? Without damaging the film. Still want to be a little bit careful, but I can squeegee out massive air bubbles when I have tack reducer and shield guard combined. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. Now I want to start working the front section. So one thing not to do is to add tack reducer to the area that you're add shield guard to the area or any kind of soapy solution to this area here. Because if we lift this off right now and we heat it, these little dots of of fluid will actually leave imprints in the film when we heat it. That's how delicate chrome is, all right? Or this chrome. Again, this is Vivid's chrome, and it installs really nicely, as you can see by the rest of the vehicle. And I have a completed video up of this car, but it's delicate. Like you got to be careful with this stuff, guys. It's not. I might make it look a little bit easy, but it's not that easy. It just takes getting used to. So yes, this looks like it's going down really nicely, and this side, for whatever reason, is going down really nicely right now. I had more trouble with the other side, and even when I first did this fender, but I guess now that I've done it for the third time, it's a bit easier. That's not quite done yet, so I have to move over there. What I want to do is bring it back a little bit. I want to heat it up, and I need to still stretch it over top of the fender, because this is not happening right now. I have way too much slack. So again, I have to be careful with where I'm heating it, because I don't want to heat up any of the liquid. Let's pull out and let's bang this bad boy out right now. All right. It's great. Perfect. I actually just made it over there, over to the corner on the inside by like a centimeter, or half an inch, not even half an inch. So if I didn't stretch the film this way, I would have way too much slack in here right now, and that's a bad thing when we get up to the top here. It means we're gonna have to stretch the film too much this way to get the wrinkles out. Now I have my wrinkles running across, which is really important, as I've mentioned many times, to have your wrinkles run across in the opposite direction that you're going to be pulling. You do not want your wrinkles to run in the same direction that you're going to be pulling the film, ever. Sometimes it's inevitable, it happens, and you can work with it. With chrome, it's one of those things where you don't want that to ever happen. Because we can't really stretch the wrinkles out if they're running in the same direction. It's going to end up damaging the film. I need a bit of heat, which is a situation I'm in right now, but it's not as bad as it would have been if I didn't stretch all the way across that way. When I heat, I just add, I have pressure or tension on the film, and I let the tension and the heat I let the heat start to give way to the film. The film will start to give way, and you'll see it start to move if you keep even tension on it. All right? So when you're doing chrome, you just wave the heat gun in front of it, and you'll see that the film will start to give way. Perfect. That's all done other than this area right here. Let's do this. So I don't even need any heat. It's that easy. So as you notice, we don't have a lot of slack around our fender, which is nice also, because we don't want to have a lot of slack and excess film in this area here. We're going to have problems. When it comes to cutting, which I'm about to do, I'm going to show you how to do some nice cuts. So I haven't quite done up top here yet. I will right now. I'm going to cut around. I'm going to cut here. I always use a guide when I'm cutting, okay? Usually it's the edge of the panel itself. Now, with this panel, I'll use a guide as the top edge here. And I'll keep one of my fingers and the blade an even distance apart, resting the blade against my finger. That will give me a nice even cut. So let me put a relief cut there. I've masked off the top side so we don't have to worry too much about it. All right. Now let's add a little heat, get it around. Now, as far as the cutting goes, the way I'm going to cut this is what you can do on any car. It's not any different, or for any film. It's going to be the same. So I masked off this area here, as you probably saw before I laid the film. Obviously we don't want to cut our paint or our vinyl that we wrapped already. So when it comes to cutting, here we go. I'm going to cut on the back side of the door. I'm going to come straight down. Again, super basic stuff, guys. You got to learn how to cut straight to do nice wraps. It's very important. The speed at which you do this will start to come. It just takes time. All right. I'm always finding a gap, and I'm letting my blade do the work, and I'm not adding pressure to the vehicle itself. I don't want to put a scratch in the paint. So I'm going to grab my hard edge squeegee, I'm going to outline this, and then I'm going to trim it out. Adding a bit of heat helps you kind of get it in there a little bit nicer, especially when it comes to chrome with it being a thicker material. Perfect. Make sure your blade is sharp. And we take our blade and we run it in the recess in between the car and the plastic vent, all right? We just take our time. This is not a race. These kind of cuts are very important because we could slip and we could cut the paints, all right? So just take your time. It might look like I'm doing this fast, but for me, this is taking my time. You will have your speed, your rate at which you work, and what's comfortable for you, all right? The sharper your blade, the less likely you are to make a mistake. I worked in a restaurant for a long time, and you know what you learn. I wasn't a cook, but what you learn is that a sharp blade is a safe blade. Now I missed a piece here like an idiot, and I knew I saw it under there, so I have to get it off. Doesn't want to come off, of course, because it wants me to rewrap the whole fender again. I'm not going to. There we go. Perfect. So I'm adding heat as I push it in. This is mainly just for chrome, all right? It's mainly just for chrome. Let's cut a lot of this out right here. See how I have my hand behind it as I cut? That way I can stop the blade from moving in too close in case it happens to go all wonky. Sometimes the blade will go wonky as you're cutting a piece like that. Actually, let's do this piece first because this will make more sense. All I want to do is score the film. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. All right. I've masked the headlight so I don't mess it up. Tuck in between the bumper and the fender just slightly and then trim it. And what I'm going to do right now is also take care of the inner panel here, which you're not going to see, but I'll explain it as I go along. So I'm going to tuck everything down to the first edge. And I'm going to take my blade and guide it across the edge, not on the edge. All right, that piece is done. Let's finish off this area here. I'm going to open the door. It's locked. It's unlocked. Open the door and make sure that I get right in here the way I want to. It's for that nice top corner finish, all right? To me, that's an important piece because this is right in the eye of everyone, especially when you're getting in and out of the car all the time. This top corner right here is super important. I'm going to add heat to finish it off. Cool. That is done. Get rid of that stuff. Get rid of this. So for this over here, the reason why I wanted to cut that first is so that I can tuck it in and then cut it out, and it makes the corner on the bottom here a lot easier to do. Again, I'm just running my blade in the gap. And now that I've done that, I can go in and tackle this corner here really easily. This car looks so good in rose gold. Back of my blade on the back side of that fender edge, okay? Super important. This way we're not cutting into anything. We're not going to damage anything. You'll get better at doing this as you go along. Again, it's not a race, guys, alright? That's just a carpet sound if you hear something. It's better to cut or run the blade along the carpet as opposed to the paint. The carpet is not going to get damaged. It's getting stone chips and stuff all the time. It's there to take a beating. So we're not cutting right through it. We're just gently grazing it. Alright, so we have a nice clean cut in there. We've got to finish off the headlight area and then we're done. Super easy. Tuck this in a little bit more. Alright. I want to make sure that we're kind of up to the seal at the edge that I want to be at. Alright. Now I know that the film tucks in and under the rubber seal. So I'm going to leave myself a bit. Again, I'm finding a guide, alright? You always, always, always need a guide when you're cutting. You can do this with knifeless first if you want. It's extra steps. Not a big deal. It just takes a little bit longer. The way you would do this with knifeless is the way I did the window trim. Very similar. You lay your knifeless down first, you get your stuff set up, and you know exactly where you're going to be cutting. That way you can't, with knifeless you can't really screw up. You can, but it's usually only when the knifeless screws up. The knifeless doesn't always work 100%, so it's screwed me a couple of times on a couple of panels because sometimes it moves or the string breaks midway or whatever. Things happen. But knifeless is a really good tool. I use it a lot. I use it for a lot of this car. Not this area here. So yes, you can see I'm tucking all the vinyl in under the rubber seal, giving it a super clean finish. I can kind of just roll my... Alright, the video stopped. So I've just tucked in all the vinyl underneath the headlight. And we're going to remove the tape and we're done, guys. So I'm pretty sure it didn't stop too long ago, but I'm gonna wipe it off. I'm gonna show you it. I don't think this was a very long video, as it shouldn't be a very long video because this was pretty straightforward. Cool. I'm gonna wipe it off, and you're gonna get to see what that looks like. So this time we don't have any scratches. It's a freshly wrapped fender. No marks. Mint. The customer will be happy with that. What did that take me? I don't know, 30 minutes, maybe less, for someone to be happy. So, you know, I had the material already, so why not, you know, why not just get it done and do it? It's all about satisfaction. So let's have a look at it. It's pretty magnificent. Love chrome, it's honestly amazing. It's totally worth the work. Yeah, that's it. Alright guys, I do hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you enjoyed this video of me wrapping the fender on this rose gold chrome Porsche, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. If you want to see more, subscribe, because there's always more on the way. And that's it. Thanks for watching guys, take care.